name is Garrett Murphy. I'm a graduate student at Lamar University, and this is my introduction for my final leading video, option number 1. I brought together a group of coaches to discuss the professional development activities that go on throughout our campus to find out the relevancy from their perspective. And I used Coach Vasquez, Coach Medina, Coach Brotherton, Coach Lopez, and Coach De Los Santos. And the items on the agenda was for professional development. The meeting was scheduled about 2 weeks prior, and we did it on the last week of school when it was just teaching time. There were no students. And then we did it for about an hour. The meeting lasted about an hour. I asked them the questions: how effective are the professional development opportunities? Are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development? In what areas is professional development adequate and most beneficial? In what areas is professional development inadequate? What degree of importance do the members place on professional development? And in the end, I surveyed them on the effectiveness of the meeting that we discussed. And what follows next is the actual video. I hope you enjoy it. Good. Thanks. Welcome. My name is Garrett Murphy, and this is my video for leading. These are the coaches. Coaches wave. Hello. Thank you. Alright, here's my evidence of the prepared agenda for the focus group meeting. So, very good. Thank you. Okay. I brought y'all here today to, under the direction I visited with Mr. Flores, to plan a meeting that will lead with a focus group to assess the effectiveness and perceived importance that professional development has in teacher growth. The focus group will be comprised of a broad spectrum of teachers, but me and Mr. Flores decided that it was better to get the coach's viewpoint to get a more direct perspective. And I will present my findings and my recommendations to the campus team. Can we introduce ourselves and tell us, the group, what you do? Coach Medina.
Coach Medina, I'm a football, softball coach, and I do the ISS at the middle school. Talk about myself.
Yeah, some background.
Been coaching 31 years in Texas, 2 in New Mexico, and 4 at the college level. 37 years altogether.
Thank you, sir. Coach Brotherton.
Coach Brotherton here, coach 8th grade football here, high school golf, teach health and technology here at the middle school. I don't have as an extensive background of this fella here, but as a player I did play against him in high school while he was still coaching, so that does not age any of us here today. But yeah, that's who I am.
I think you sure. Coach De Los Santos.
Coach De Los Santos. I do basketball and track. I also teach PE. Been coaching for about 8 years.
My name is Coach Vasquez. I've been coaching for 20 years. Coach football and track and baseball here at Cal Island. I've been here at Cal Island 10 years. And middle school coordinator. And I have a blast here at Cal Island Middle School.
Nice. Coach Lopez.
Lamar Lopez. I coach 8th grade basketball and 8th grade volleyball, and also high school softball. I am the head of girls athletics here at CMS. I've been teaching and coaching for 13 years, and I teach PE. And I as well love it here at CMS.
Go Wildcats.
Go Wildcats. Go Cats, go.
Go Cats, you know. Okay, introduction. Now I'm going to ask you all a set of guiding questions that facilitate the focus group in identifying and addressing specific areas of need, as well as appropriate follow-up questions. And at the conclusion, feedback from the focus group members regarding the degree of success in achieving the meeting's purpose and relevance, as well as effectiveness / efficiency of time management communication, collaboration, and listening. We'll take a survey at the end. Okay. Guiding questions. Okay, Coach Medina, I'm going to ask you all 5 questions. Each one of you gets a chance to answer each question.
Okay.
And feel free to take your time. Think time. Wait time. Wait time for your response. Okay. Coach Medina, how effective are the professional development opportunities here at CMS?
I think they're, of course, just like all professional development, there are some that you get more information out of and that can help you later in the classroom. You know, some not so much, but they're still enlightening and, you know, educational. Since I've been here, these are the best, believe me, these are the best in-services I've ever been a part of. I mean, anywhere, New Mexico, anywhere in any other districts, Rockport, CCISD, ODAM, Texas. And so, you know, some people talk about waste of time, but, you know, people say that, but if they get one thing out of every in-service, then they've gotten better. Okay?
Good answer. Okay. Coach Brotherton, how effective are the professional development opportunities here at CMS?
I would like to say that I hope, because we're having to speak on our behalves, but if I would try to speak on behalf of everybody else here as well, that they should be pretty good for us all. On my side of it also, being Campus Technology Contact, CTC here, and having to do some of those professional developments, like today, we had one over Microsoft Office 365, and I hope that everybody got everything that they needed out of that, even though it was just a broad overview. We try to bring things to the school and to the teachers that we can, you know, broaden their horizons and be able to utilize more things in the classroom, such as the Office 365, where all of the kids will get it too. So now you can bring in a collaborative classroom from the technology aspect of it, while they're at home or wherever they may be. If they happen to be absent, they can go there and be able to utilize the office documents as well from any location. So if they're sick or absent, teacher puts it on there, it's ready for them to go ahead and have access to it at home. So there's no delay of learning from those guys. So just little things like that, I think help improve everybody here. And, you know, as long as we keep steering that line, if it has an interest to a teacher, then, you know, it'll have an interest to the student. If it's something that nobody's really interested in and you just don't see any way that you're not gonna use it, then you might have a downfall there. There's where you have your surveys to determine what do we need most at the school and utilize what everybody's wanting and try to do those, because you're obviously gonna have a lot more interest in it than anything else.
Very good. Coach De Los Santos, how effective are the professional development opportunities here at CMS?
I think for the most part, they are effective. We all can benefit from learning new things. The more professional development opportunities we have, the better we are as teachers and the better we can serve our students in the classroom. So I think they're doing a good job. I would like to see more of the safety like when we had. I think that's one that we need to kind of expand on.
That was a good one. Coach Vasquez, how effective are the professional development opportunities?
Well, I think these guys have already answered, you know, that question to like exactly the way it needs to be answered. But following up with Coach De Los Santos, we need in-services that I think we could maybe suggest that we have. Something that's maybe more, you know, in with our field of teaching, safety, safety for the kids. I think when you got teachers that are going to be interested in what they're going into, you know, they're going to be more tentative and more apt to want to be in there. Now, the stuff that we did today was great. Now, I got to admit, some of it was over my head, which I need 3 or 4 or 5 in-services, and sometimes that's not, that's not applicable. But again, it's these in-services that we have here at Cal Island. You know, I know they're great for everybody, but there's also things that they need to understand that we need to suggest to have that we think will make ourselves not only better educators, but, better for the students as well.
Yes, sir. Coach Lopez, how effective are the professional development opportunities?
Well, like everyone else said, I think they are effective, but I would like to see more in the field that we work with, like Coach Vasquez said. I think a lot of times we don't, I think we can do all these computer things and like teaching strategies and stuff, but there's not a lot of kinetic stuff that that we could kind of collaborate with the teachers in the regular classroom, and bring it to our classroom as well, as PE teachers. And I know not everybody's a PE teacher, but I'm kind of talking about what I teach. But like Coach Medina said, I was in Odom for 10 years, and there was a lot of in-services, not dissing Odom, but there's a lot of in-service that we never really implemented that. And being here for 3 years, we have in-service and we actually would use some of the things. So I think they're very effective.
Okay, back to you, Coach Medina. Are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development?
Oh, here, yes, especially. You can go to in-services on almost any subject, being offered. Of course, we make use of the Education Service Center downtown, and there's a whole book full of in-service that you can sign up for and take, which may be something that we need to look forward in the future, like us four here in the middle go to PE in-service or something more along the lines of our subject area, or have a coach come in and talk to all the coaches about maybe something relating to athletics or certain sports, how districts are run and what they do other places, and maybe hiring and firing practices at other places would be really interesting. You may not want to know a whole lot, but it's something that's out there. It's part of this profession.
Thank you, sir. Coach Brotherton, are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development?
Well, without trying to be repetitive, because you're gonna hear this over and over again, I think, in here, and it's gonna be repetitive, but, like you said, we have the service center that we can, anything that we wanna go to, put in the application for and request to have the day to be able to go over there and have that training. It's a little bit different for myself than you guys, because you guys are in the gym, that's your classroom, and that is different than what our classrooms are and what we can do. As compared to what you guys can do. But like this year, I think is one of the first years that we've actually been sent an email for our own individual campuses, or for Cal Allen ISD, to be able to have in-services directly through them at the annex. So that's something that's new that they've kind of done this year. But, back to as far as like coaches and the PE aspect of it and stuff, we haven't had anything probably for 3 years now. The catch training program is really the latest that I think for PE coaches that anything's been done that would even remotely be geared towards something inside of the gym. So those, like you said, can always be looked upon, and try to find more things like that for you guys.
Coach De Los Santos, are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development?
Again, yes, there is, but as far as our field PE, no, I would say no.
Coach Vasquez,
Repeat the question, please.
are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development?
Definitely, there are definitely adequate opportunities. However, as Coach Medina mentioned, and Coach De Los Santos, not enough for physical education or exercise and sports science or personal fitness or whatever you want to call PE. I think we need to find a way to, whether we meet with other schools or other teachers and figure out what's going to be best for our school as a whole. Now, we have this catch program, we have this fitness grant that we have to take, but I think we need to find something where our kids are just more active in the gym or on the football field or on the track, something that makes it fun for them to exercise. We got basketball and football and baseball and softball and dodgeball and games like that that we play. But if we can find or bring in ideas from other schools or even from the service center that gets more kids involved and having fun and wanting to be out there and wanting to move around, then I think that's gonna be, better for us as a school district and across the state of Texas.
Coach Lopez, are there adequate opportunities provided for professional development?
I think there is adequate opportunities. I don't think that they're often promoted like they are in other subject areas. And what I mean by that, like we have a dean of instruction, and I think the dean of instruction goes and tells the English teachers, you need to go to this, you need to go to that. Whereas as PE teachers, we're kind of left off to the side and kind of, we have to find time to find our own trainings or our own, opportunities to growth, whether it be, at the service center or Takeford or wherever, whatever opportunities those are. I just think that we're kind of always kind of just, they're in the gym, they got PE, we're not looked at, since it's an elective or considered an elective, it's not, doesn't seem to be as important as the other stuff. When it should be, seeing as what our kids' health are now, and diabetes and obesity and everything else, I think it should be important, so.
Thank you. All right, Coach Medina, new question. In what areas is professional development adequate or most beneficial?
I think most of it's directed to the classroom teacher. We've already been on this before, but take for instance, if Lamar wants to go to a taper convention or something like that, I think we could probably get them to pay for our registration, but as far as travel and room and board and all that stuff, that, totally be, up to us. Whereas most of the other stuff, you still gotta travel in town, but it's local, okay? It's not something that you can go anywhere. If you wanna be a better coach, I mean, when I wanted to start off in baseball at the very beginning, I went to spring training. I went and saw what was being done. Then I went back and I was at the college at the time, at the university, so I was able to do, stuff like that. But if you want to learn from the best, you got to be around the best. I think in a classroom, you can get plenty of from around the best, and you've got, what are they called, simulcasts and all that type of stuff that you can be incorporated, into the classroom. Of course, being done somewhere else, maybe New York University, but you can get it online here.
Yes, sir. Coach Brotherton, in what areas is professional development adequate and/or most beneficial?
Like Coach Medina said, adequate for classroom teachers, but more specifically core classroom teachers, because I am a classroom teacher, and just like you said, that our dean of instruction will go let the ELA teachers or the math teachers, the science teachers, hey, this is where we need to go. Curriculum, work in your curriculum and things like that. They're always guided by somebody to do something. The rest of us, elective teachers, just in general, electives, we're left out on our own to figure everything out and do stuff on our own. You got to find the stuff on your own. You got to put in for it and convince them that you need to go to it, and things like that. So a little more from the higher up side, if you will, and curriculum advisors to assist us as well, because there is no assistance for us. It's, here's your class, this is what you do. Good luck. Have at it. As to where everybody else has their curriculum days, everybody else, there's a lot of things that are specific to ELA, specific to science, specific, it's all specific to those core classes, again, which leads into the STAR test. Don't teach the test, but yet we got to make sure we have everything perfect so that those kids can pass the STAR, but you're an elective, so we're not too worried about you, so they can, try to make that better on our end for us.
Coach De Los Santos, in what areas is professional development adequate and/or most beneficial?
Well, again, like these two coaches said, it's more beneficial to the core subjects. As far as our subject, physical education, there's nothing really out there. So, I would like to see more of things geared towards our field, which I think that would help us a little bit better than, I mean, the stuff that they do now is great, but we don't teach a core subject. So, I mean, we do get some benefits from it, but as far as to put that in the classroom, I mean, we could do better. The district could do better.
Coach Vasquez, in what areas is professional development adequate / most beneficial?
Well, it's most beneficial for the students. Most of our professional development, or 95%, I'm saying, is designated for the classroom teachers, the core subjects. So those guys and females and our teachers are able to, work amongst each other in their department and say, hey, we're gonna do this with this Kagan strategy. I believe we had an in-service over Kagan strategy day before yesterday. So those core teachers get to go back and say, hey, I think we can use that doing this. And then they can tell the history department or the social studies department, hey, we're gonna do it this way. And then they can go tell the math department, hey, we're gonna do it this way. But if we were to send Coach Lopez to the Tayford convention in San Marcos this summer, in Frisco, then she's not gonna be able to come back and tell the math department, hey, this is what we're gonna do in PE, let's see how it's gonna help you in math class. So, I think all those professional developments are more adequate just for the core classroom teachers and not anything for PE and athletics.
Thank you, sir. Coach Lopez, in what areas is professional development adequate / most beneficial?
Say it again?
In what areas is professional development adequate / most beneficial?
In PE area, I would have to, no?
Yeah, and PE.
In the PE area, I think it's mainly like, it's not the strategies that we could use like in regular classrooms, because it's not a regular classroom. So I don't know how, just like what they said, it's not very adequate sometimes. And I think like I said, we just get left out sometimes. That's a hard question.
Let me change just interject here. One of the things that we had to end up doing was getting together as a PE department. Then I started in Rockport, we did the same thing in New Mexico. But we came up with our own obesity plan, our own way of elevating the heart rate and stuff. And what we ended up doing, it worked out actually really great, is we always had 2 PE instructors, at least, in every period. So one would stay over here in the gym, okay? And the other one would go out to the track. And every day, without fail, you go around that track 4 times. Then you could jog, walk, you could walk the whole thing. We took turns, one in the gym and one out there every day, till everybody went 4 times. You had a roll call. You just put a little check every time they walked by you. And once they got done with their 4, they ran in here and started basketball. Started just warm-up shooting, then 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. They just went into half-court games and stuff like that. But we had to, we implemented that ourselves. And then on rainy days, everybody lined up on the gym, on the floor. Push-up position, down, up, sit-ups, same thing, stretching, all that stuff.
That's a good tone right there. You should make that fitness
Fitness
round.
round.
You are the fitness grand guy.
But, and it worked out pretty good, and actually, the kids, you could actually see their body change. Especially with most of these were freshmen and sophomores. Well, they're coming from middle school, and all of a sudden you see their body change, and they got into a lot better shape, and all of a sudden they went from being on the sidelines of basketball to actually getting out there and shooting. Now, they weren't very good, but they went out there and they, tried to play, and that was good.
And let me say something. When I came here 3 years ago, the coach that had really done the catch program, she left, and it was kind of just like, there was no training, there was nothing offered. When there was finally a training last year, was it last year? It was like a very watered down, professional development day or whatever. It was like 3 days of training on that program put into like a day, if a day. So sometimes I think people just forget, or administration just forgets, that new people come in and if they want to implement programs that they probably pay a lot of money to implement, that those training opportunities need to be offered, not to be forgotten.
Fourth question, Coach Medina, in what areas is professional development inadequate?
I think we kind of.
We're kind of beating a dead horse, but, the non-core subjects, and really, all of them, band, choir, theater arts. I mean, what have we learned about theater arts or band or music or choir or anything in any in-service? Or PE other than the one we had last year? And the answer is none. Technology, Coach Brotherton here, that's gonna be an every year thing. You have to have technology, because technology changes as we sit here.
Do we still have team leadership?
It's part of the 6th grade wheel.
Okay.
All right, okay, we just finished up, so we're going to question number 4?
Yes, we're on
We're
question.
gonna go this way now.
Okay,
Oh crap.
Coach Lopez, there you go. We are number 4. In what areas is professional development inadequate?
Inadequate. Last time was adequate.
No, it's inadequate.
Now they're inadequate. Just kind of what we said before, just not enough opportunity. Geared in our area. Sound like I just keep repeating myself.
Exactly. But I think that's what we're.
But
It's okay though.
But yeah,
We're
I
focusing on
just think
the
it's
issue.
because there's just not,
We threw it together.
it's just not promoted, it's just not, like it. And I think sometimes, I know I've put in like to go to either coaching clinic or tapered or whatever, and it's kind of like people drag their feet. And it's just, I just think sometimes it needs to be a little bit more important. So in that way, it is inadequate, I think. Opportunities are there, maybe the process is inadequate. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good answer. Coach Vasquez, in what areas is professional development inadequate?
Okay, again, we're all probably gonna say the same thing about not enough focus is given to the personal fitness aspect of a student's life at whatever school district they go to. But when we're talking about the inadequacies of in-services geared towards us, the non-core teachers, some of the stuff, I don't wanna say is over our head, but some of the stuff, as far as we did a Office 365 today, which is a great program that seems like it's gonna help a lot of people doing lessons simultaneously at the same time and being able to be on one computer and then the other teacher's on the other computer and they're making notes back and forth to each other at the same time. So it's gonna be great in that aspect. But how does that help two PE teachers that are usually in the same gym at the same time where, we're not gonna, plus we only have one computer in there, so it's not like we're gonna be able to be sharing stuff unless we do stuff at home. But the inadequacies are just, in my opinion, something that is not beneficial to non-core teachers. That's what I'm thinking.
Coach De Los Santos, in what areas is professional development inadequate?
Who's here?
Do you want to come in and give your point of view real quick?
It's a focus group.
Go on in. This is a,
Whatever y'all think, I agree
Camera's over
with.
there.
Whatever y'all think, I agree with, okay?
Nice.
No, seriously, what do y'all think?
We're recording right now.
It's a focus group.
We're adding on to our 45-minute time frame.
Hey, see yourself on YouTube, okay?
You'll be on YouTube.
We totally planned this.
They don't know that person.
Where were we on? Okay, yeah. Coach De Los Santos, in what areas is professional development inadequate?
Again, like Coach said, we just keep saying the same thing. I mean, as far as the encore subjects, it's not adequate. I mean, we kind of are off to the side, and a lot of the things that we do, yes, they're important, but for like math and science and that, you know, those departments, they'll use that, but like Coach said, we're out there sometimes on the field, in the gym, and for us, it's really not that adequate.
Coach Brotherton?
I think that question is yet to be determined as far as PE coaches are. For example, Kagan training yesterday, that's great for the board teachers. I'll try to find ways, hopefully in my classroom, to use it. It'll be interesting to see how you guys use that. So there's a training that we had a half a day on, Kagan training now. So everybody had to go to that, including you coaches. Let's see then in August, September, when you have PE, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna use it? Is that gonna be adequate? How are you gonna use these Kagan trainings for PE? That's something that, well, if they told us over there, kind of took side out for a minute and said, so for example, in PE, you could do this, but they never did. It was never about that. It was always about in the classroom. So that answer could come in August or September and see how well that goes over.
Coach Medina?
Repeat the question.
In what areas is professional development inadequate?
Okay. Yeah, I taught and coached in New Mexico, and New Mexico had one of the worst educational systems in the United States. Okay? That being said, we had some of the best in-services, because math went to math in-services, okay? English, ELR, all that went to their in-service. Electives, okay, went to their own in-services, okay? Music band went to their own in-service. PE, athletics, all coaches went to a different in-service. And actually it worked out a lot better as far as, you know, stuff that was being done in other schools. And, you know, with Albuquerque being, you know, pretty relatively close, 20 minutes away, you know, we're in the system with all the Albuquerque schools and all the, you know, the private schools there. They have quite a few of them. You know, St. Pius, Albuquerque Academy, stuff like that. But in that aspect, that was more adequate for in-servicing electives. Okay, here I don't know if we could have something that would, all the elective teachers would go to one spot. You know, I don't know if we could, or we may have to break it down even more than that. But as far as me learning something else new about PE today, no, I didn't learn anything new about, you know, PE today. You know, teaching ISS, I definitely didn't learn anything about PE today. But I, you know, maybe there should be I don't say watered down version, but maybe we could go to Coach Brotherton's room and let somebody else handle the other technology, and he could help us with putting pictures on schedules. You know, how to do spreadsheets, make them more,
Make
you
it
know,
more
just make them
applicable
better.
to us, to something that we can
something
do.
would be more useful for coaches in each of their sports. Whether it's, you know, how to do the spreadsheet and make timelines, you know, what you do at, you know, 3:30, at 3:40, at 3:50, stuff like that. I think that would be more useful technology-wise to us than maybe some of the stuff we did today.
Last question. Coach Lopez, what degree of importance do the members place on professional development? How important is professional development to you?
What was the first part? Do members of what?
Teachers?
Just teachers, coaches, the staff, people you heard.
Like people who are actually doing the? Or-
What do you think the importance of professional development is for the school and you personally?
Oh, I think it's very important, because I think there's always something new to learn or to bring to your classroom, and different strategies. And I think with technology, everything is evolving so much. The way our kids learn is so much, is so different. And so it's very important. For me personally, like kind of like what Coach Medina said in his previous answer, is I just like for it to be presented in a way that we could, like, would actually get our attention, I guess, and where we could actually use it. Whether it be, I know that we used Living Tree very, very often to communicate to our athletes or whatever. And I think just by talking sometimes we kind of get new ideas. Like there's a new app that I talked to another coach where she does everybody applies to that app, and she does her schedule, she does her practices, she does everything through that app. And they don't know your phone number, they don't, it's just out there. And so I think sometimes by just talking to other teachers in professional development, that you get ideas as well. So yes, it's very important to me. I would like to have more, especially since you have to have credit hours for your certificate now, in professional development that actually has to get to the state. I think it's very important, not only because of that, but just to learn and to bring something new to the table.
Coach Vasquez, what degree of importance do other teachers place on professional development and you personally?
Okay, one more time?
The importance of professional development that you've heard from other teachers and you personally.
Well, the importance of professional development is, it's extremely important because some of the higher ups, whether it's our, dean of academics or superintendent or somebody in the state education agency is saying, hey, if we teach you guys this and then you go teach it on your campus, then it's going to be beneficial for your students. So I understand that it is important. But again, is that stuff important to all the teachers that are in that in-service? No, not necessarily. Again, if one of the key words by one of the presenters today said, hey, in Dallas, these coaches are doing this to have their workout plan, then all the coaches in the room are going to perk up a little bit and say, oh, let me listen to what that's about. But if we're just talking about Microsoft Office 365 or whatever it is, and putting pictures together in a stray form or whatever it is, sway form that we did today, then some of us are like, what is this all about? How is this going to help us getting the kids to participate in running laps and not being overweight? So it's important. But again, our administration has to listen to some feedback from every subject, not only our core subjects, whether it be band or art or PE, and then say, hey, you know what, maybe we can do this for these guys. Maybe while these core subjects are going to this in-service, we can pay somebody, $8,000 to come talk about this, or whatever it is. So it's all extremely important. But again, what is important to this person might not be as important to this person. Same thing with teachers, kids in the classroom. You're gonna have some kids in the classroom that are gonna be excited about what we're doing, and some kids are gonna be like, oh, whatever, I can't wait to do something else. So, again, in-services are important, but we gotta worry about what's gonna be beneficial for the teachers who are actually teaching those different subjects.
Coach De Los Santos, what is the degree of importance to professional development that you've heard from other teachers and yourself?
Well, again, it's important. Things change from day to day, so it's important to keep up with what is out there. But if some of those core teachers would have to take a in-service geared towards physical education, I'm pretty sure they would feel like, why am I here? This doesn't really pertain to, let's say I teach math, it doesn't pertain to me doing math. So that's kind of what I feel sometimes, although they are beneficial, but not for physical education. We could, and not just for physical education, but for, all other classes like band and music. We could maybe get with another group, maybe between middle school and high school, elementary, trying, to get something going to correlate something. We just need to go to training for where it's going to benefit our field.
Coach Brotherton, what's the degree of importance that your members place on professional development and you?
Okay, I'm in between a rock and a hard place here, because since I did part of the technology training today, I had to clarify some things so that there's a better understanding what it was all about. It is important to have them, and again, it's gotta all be geared towards something in some way, but you also have to understand of what can and what cannot help you in your way. The sway won't help coaches. That's definitely not, it's not gonna help you on that. But for example, the Microsoft Office 365 Word document, so it's not gonna help you get kids to do things, but it'll help you to plan better with other coaches if you can't meet all together in one place. So you can put a document online and both of you can be editing it at the exact same time. So now you have your collaboration and communication amongst coaches to be able to do that without having to call everybody into one location. So for scheduling and purposes like that, that's what that part of the technology is for. Now, did we go in and say that? No, we didn't today, because it's just a broad overview of what Office 365 is about. And I sat for about 2 hours on the training initially, and I still had no clue what it all was. I mean, there's so much to Office 365 that it has to offer that there's not enough time to do it too. So timing is also an issue. You know, when you're in here for 2.5 hours trying to throw everything at you, what is this? What am I doing? I don't understand, and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's got to be planned out appropriately too. And then just a side note, this app right here, I know y'all can't really see it, it's iSchoolbox. That may be the one you're talking about, but you can put everything on there. So you go onto your computer and load your schedules and everything that you need, have your kids sign up to here, put it on the app, and they can see everything that they have. I use this for golf.
But what's the app called? What's your app called?
iSchoolbox.
Team Snap?
Yeah, an iSchoolbox.
That's school ball.
Letter I.
Coach Medina, what degree of importance do members of our school place on professional development and you personally?
Well, I think sometimes we get caught in a thought process of going ahead, moving ahead, and all of this. But we gotta remember, you know, as administrators and stuff, we need to remember that we're hiring people, you know, in their first, second, you know, their first 5 years of coming into the education profession. Okay, and I think the actual timeline is by the 3rd year or 4th year, that person's either gonna decide they're gonna be able to do this, and this is for them, or they're gonna go to a refinery or an oil company and do something different. I don't think, well, just like technology is always advancing and stuff, I don't know if the young teachers are getting enough classroom management skills, and I won't just say it to the young teachers, some of the older teachers have forgotten how to discipline the classroom, okay? And me being in the ISS field, I see teachers, my goodness, I mean, a kid says to another kid, you know, shut the hell up. Well, she's writing them up. And it shouldn't be that way when, you know, there's little simple techniques like just walk over slowly to the noise maker. I could still be talking about a class lesson or something, and I can go, when the bell rings, stay in your seat, okay, I need to talk to you. Okay, they interfere. And just walk away and let that person, you know, take care of the problem for one, but then speak with the problem so that it doesn't happen again. And there's all different types of classroom management techniques that have to be learned so that the young teachers become successful. And you know, the older teachers don't just, oh, I'm writing you up and get out of here. Okay? I mean, stuff like that doesn't work. I mean, yeah, I could hear, you know, physical assault or something like that, yeah, they should immediately be going to ISS. Maybe a thrown shoe, it just depends on how it's taken in the situation. Was it meant to hurt somebody, or was it just playing around? You know, that's got to be viewed by the PE teachers, whether it could be one or the other. It could be a write-up type offense, or it could be one of those where you talk to the kid and make sure that doesn't happen again. You know, when all kids understand pain. If they start doing 50 push-ups, it starts bothering them, and it's painful to them, they're not going to want to do it again. Just like a dog, if he poops on the floor and, you know, you don't want him to do that. If you stick his nose in there and whack him on the butt and you throw him outside, hey, eventually he's going to get the message. Okay? Kids are no different. You can't control kids unless they're afraid of something. Pain, getting their iPod taken away from them, getting their phone taken away, not getting to go to, nah, we're going to Waterbury, we'll bring you something back, you just stay here in your room, you know, or something, take the TV away, take all communication away from them, that'll hurt them more than, you know, probably a swat on the butt.
So the basis of that question was?
How to discipline your kids.
No.
No,
Professional development.
Classroom management.
We need more classroom management.
management skills have to be
Yeah.
taught to people. You're not just graduated from college, yeah, I'm a classroom teacher, and I control the whole classroom.
Okay, so maybe as a school district, at the end of the year, then the school districts needs to take a step back and look, okay, this is what happened this school year. This is where we had all the problems, which was, I think this year was classroom management. So then, yes, those in-services need to be geared to that, instead of, you know, whatever sway we're doing or whatever.
Or you can, from an administration standpoint, if somebody's writing up kids left and right and written over 100 referrals, maybe they need to go to classroom management workshop.
Yeah, that teacher, that
Yeah,
individual.
that individual teacher needs to be sent there along with, you know, newbie over here and 3-year man over here and the 2-year girl over here that had trouble so much because she couldn't get the kids to stop talking. All that kind of stuff, you know, you're setting them up to fail if you don't teach them and give them the skills to control the classroom. And it's getting worse every year.
Yeah,
Were you gonna add on?
all right.
No. I was just gonna say coaches can't do the in-service.
Yeah,
I mean, because we have the best classes, like,
Oh, yeah.
we do, like,
Sometimes.
our classroom management, like, really, I mean, I know it's hard to keep kids quiet and stuff, but if Coach Vasquez walked into somebody's classroom, it would just, it's just, and he would be like, be quiet, and it would just be, it's just a different, it's just different.
But some of this stuff, you know, we talk about professional development being inadequate, okay? And a lot of the stuff, we talk about classroom discipline or classroom management, a lot of this stuff happens at home, where there's no, maybe the parents need some professional development, you know, but that ain't gonna happen. You know, if there's no discipline at home, it's tough to discipline those kids at school, no matter what kind of teacher you are, so.
That's the nature of our society now in general.
Yes, sir.
You know, single parent families that, you know, they work all night and, you know, they're not there for the kid.
So to sum it up then,
Yeah, it's, okay.
for professional development, I think on the side note would be also to notify and let those instructors of the professional development understand and learn that they can't just deliver their message of what their content is strictly based on the classroom atmosphere, but the entire classroom atmosphere, including and using examples of even in the gym and stuff, to whatever it is that they're gonna say, this is how this can work. Well, provide examples for everywhere, not just consistently in the classroom.
And the teachers have to adapt from period to period, because it's not always the same. I don't think.
You're right, you're
You
right.
can't have a perfect lesson in first period, and then you say, man, this was a great lesson for first period, and expect, and then you do the same thing second period, and then it doesn't work, because it's a whole different breed of cats in there.
I think yesterday's in-service with, you know, with the shooter on campus and stuff like that, everybody needs that. Okay? Now, everybody doesn't need necessarily the classroom management, okay, workshop, but some people do. Not everybody needed the technology, the advanced technology workshop of today, but we needed the, you know, technology for dummies, okay, workshop for me. Okay? People forget they didn't offer typing till my senior year in high school. So that's how technology fluent I am.
Like Coach said with the shooter one, I would like to see more, kind of like the training they did at Walmart, because that's a real life situation versus the way we do it is, you know, okay, well, somebody comes on the intercom, they say, well, there's an intruder, there's whatever. It's totally different than if you have somebody there and,
Like
I
a
mean,
mock?
you're caught outside, you're in the gym, like there's different scenarios. And I think, you know, that kind of training is gonna benefit everybody.
We did one like that in Odom. where there was actually like
Yeah.
police officers, and we had to put tables on the windows, the doors, and there was like gunshots through the intercom system. It was interesting.
Sounds fun.
There was smoke. Yeah, it was interesting. It was kind of scary.
Okay, well, in conclusion,
Yes.
thank you for your participation and
You're welcome, Coach Murphy.
and your very valuable time for,
It was very enlightening.
thank you, I feel like it went well. And, to get a survey of participants on a scale of 1 to 10, I go individually between each one. How was this, focus group, how well do you think it achieved its goal and its relevance to the, plight of the professional development area? So you think it was relevant? 1 is no, 10 is yes.
Oh.
7.5.
I'll go,
Nine.
Ask Coach Dos Santos, yes.
Coach Dos Santos, you have to go first.
Okay, from 1 to 10, 10 being the
best.
It was very relevant, this is a good experience.
very relevant.
Okay, so 10? Nice, Coach.
I'm gonna go 10.
10, nice. 10?
Yeah, very good.
It's at
You
least
are
a
a
nine.
10.
At least a 9, that's okay. Coach Lopez?
10.
10, sweet.
If you learn, if we learn, if one thing helped us, then it's a 10.
That's 10, there you
If you get at least one thing out of it.
All right, Coach. Now, so what is Team App or Team Snap?
Hello, my name is Garrett Murphy with Lamar University. I'm a graduate student with the Education Administration, and this is the post-activity reflection video for my leading video, the final video. The analysis of the responses from the focus group and my recommendations to the leadership team for future professional development planning. The basis for all the questions answered is that the coaches want more topics relevant to them that we can use in the classroom, because a lot of the strategies that we use are inapplicable to our field, to electives, and that's what I will present to Mr. Flores, when we have something relevant to the English or math department, sending us off to another study or another professional development that is actually relevant to our field that we can actually use. That was what the consensus was with all the coaches. Okay, analysis of the responses for each question from the evaluation. Was the agenda followed? Yes, we followed the agenda. Were the objectives of the meeting met? Yes, everyone got a chance to speak and find out their views of the professional development system. What did the survey evaluation of the meeting reveal regarding time management, effective communication, collaboration, listening, and relevance of topics discussed? The survey at the end of the video, all the coaches were engaged and we used the time management effectively. I got them out on time because they needed to be gone by 2 o'clock. I got them out at 1:55, so all that went well. Now, to reflect on the field activity experience, I'm supposed to answer the following post-activity questions. What went well? I believe what went well was the entire meeting. I got all the coaches in during their school time, they were doing stuff, and they took the time to meet with me to help me out. What would I change? Not really sure I would change anything. It went very well. I might bring food next time. I think that would help, but other than that, I think the meeting went very well. What surprising information was revealed through this experience? I did not know that the professional development was such a big issue to them, because they all believed that we were left in the dust when it comes to professional development, and that adding stuff that more focuses on our fields of study, that was a big, not necessarily shocker, but I didn't know they cared so much about that. How will this experience transform your practice as a school administrator? As a school administrator, I will take into account all groups, all studies. I will account for music, art, electives, health, and include math, science, social studies, history, all. And I'll try and focus this instead of school-wide corporate professional developments. I think I will send each group off to their specific needs to focus on more individualized or more subject-based professional developments instead of school-wide, one-size-fits-all professional development. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the videos.